I have a lot to say, but let's get down to the basic. At my current state, I don't think I'm going to be able to continue what I do in this channel, which is making tutorials on several things related to photography. Of course, I'm not really one of those high value or high production value videos. They are just basics. Turn on the software, get some photo into it and edit them and kind of trying to explain them. And you may or may not like them. Pretty much that's it. And then trying to show off my own work. But it's been more than 1 year I'm in treatment for my mental health. That started with the depression. Before that started as a burnout. Before that started with many things related to health, burnout, stress, you name it. Now, after 1 year of treatment, that including the therapy, antidepressant, and not working, practically in sick leave for about more than 7 months, many things have come out, which is trauma-related, trauma-induced, let's say, ADHD, DID, then what else? Like all the things that I have never heard of in my life. Essentially, the root cause of everything is my adverse childhood, where I grew up in a family with a lot of stress, problems between parents. They really been working hard. You know, growing up in a poor family is not really ideal for anybody. And my parents did whatever they could do, but you know, we are not perfect, so even though they tried as much as they could, but it was not enough for a child at the time, which was me. Anyway, long story short, after that I got abused by my neighbor for a long time. Thing is that as I'm talking to you, even now, I don't feel any what do you call it, sad or feel like crying and everything that you would imagine. Basically, I don't have any emotion when I'm talking about any kind of those problems. However, as today, after many turn of events in recent years, things have started to reveal themselves, and you know, I got exhausted, lots of change of emotions and all kind of things that you know you can find it in the Google. The reason I am making this video is because, first of all, I realized that I can't do what I love to do because I don't have any interest, so everything feels to be too much forced. But at the same time, I think that I can contribute or turn this thing into something useful for the society. So YouTube will be changed to something related to mental health, but probably, because I'm not a mental health professional, however, I am a patient and a victim of many things that relate to this thing. I can contribute by sharing my own story, and people can, you know, pick up some cherries from it, a bit of good information, bit of nuggets, and try to probably look into the information, you know, to analyze their situation, own problem. Because what I realized at the end is that we have a tendency to trust the medical professionals, which we should do all the time. However, I've also learned that you have to be persuasive in order to get the correct treatment, because just because they are doctors doesn't mean that they know everything. Sometimes they do, purposefully or not, avoid certain things, unless things get too serious. The reason behind is many, but one of the biggest problems, especially in Europe, in France, which is that they have too many patients and too little staff. It's not that they are bad or they're ignorant, it's just that human factor. They are just overwhelmed by amount of work, so they need manpower. So that means that you have to know sometime what you're doing or looking for in order to ask them on your own. Anyway, The summary is that I will continue time to time maintain photography in this channel. However, I will change certain things. That includes, slowly pivoting to a channel about my own mental health situation, not as a professional, but as a patient and a victim who is taking treatments. So I have a lot to talk about, and my head is all over the place. I'm not organized. I start with one thing and finish with something else. So this is my other way to, organize myself, shall I say. So I'm actually doing the same thing that I originally started with photography, which is originally I started a YouTube channel as a, showing off my photos, but using it as a platform to protect my memories, because at least the physical things are lost, at least they will remain in YouTube for my future generation to see. So this one is also, objective is the same. I'm doing it for myself, so that it's like a diary, but publicly available diary, let's say. And at the same time, you get to see and probably learn something. At least I really hope that it helps one person in this planet. So that's my goal, that's my objective, and that's why I think I'm going to change this YouTube channel to something different. Again, don't expect anything that fancy lights and fancy articulated vocabularies like all these professionals and high production YouTube videos are. I don't really honestly give a shit. I couldn't care less. So yeah, that's it.